Okay, so let's start by reviewing last week's homework. Okay, so these were, yes, last week's questions, and this is the homework, right? Okay, so first let's open our Python environment. Save it.
Homework question 1.
Okay, so let's see what the first question was. Write a function to find the average of the numbers in a list. Okay, so let's start by making a function. Define, we can make a function called average underscore finder. Okay, and what this function is gonna take in is a list of numbers. So multiplicate or whatever, multiplication sign, numbers, asterisk numbers. So any random amount of any random amount of numbers will be inputted, and they'll all be saved in a list called numbers. Okay. Okay, so to find the average of the numbers in a list. So how do you find the average? Can anyone tell me? Yeah, Sasha.
So first you have to add up all of the numbers and then you have to divide it by the amount of numbers.
Numbers, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would we be able to add all of the numbers in the list? So let's start by
For
making, exactly, a for loop, perfect. Why? Because a for loop is better when using a list, because you can iterate one by one through the list, right? Rather than a while loop in this case. So for I, the variable I in numbers, numbers is the list, colon. Okay. Now, we have the variable sum, and we want to add each value to the variable sum. Okay, so sum plus equal to I, right? Basically the same thing as sum is equal to sum plus I. This means the same thing, both of these. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for adding the numbers, right? Now, just to make it easier to understand, I'll print sum. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to get the average. So average is going to be equal to sum divided by, does anyone know the command to get the length of a list? Length of a list, yeah.
Divided by numbers.
You can't exactly put numbers. You can put length of numbers.
Okay.
LEN, open brackets, put the list inside, close brackets, right? This gives you the average. Now I want to print average, or print the average is average. Okay, that should be good. Let's hope we don't get any errors. Okay, we can call this function, and let's pass it in some values. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so first it should take each value in numbers and it should add them one by one. 4 plus 6, 10, 12, 16, 23, so on, right? And this will give you the sum of 35. Sum of 35, which I printed right over here. Then I calculated the average, which is sum divided by LEN, open brackets, numbers, close brackets, which will give you the length of the list. The length of the list is basically the amount of numbers you have, right? So the amount of numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So it would basically do 35 divided by 8, which will give us 4.375. And this is the average of a random amount of numbers in a list. Okay, does that make sense? Is it clear? So what is the next question? Find the maximum of the numbers in a list of a random length. Okay, so we can start by, first let's make a new file. Let's call this homework question 2. So let's make a function call maximum number finder or maximum finder. DEF maximum underscore finder, making a function. And I also want this to take in a list of values, right? So a random number of values. So list of numbers, right? So again, this asterisk means it can be an unlimited amount of numbers, all saved in this variable name known as numbers. Okay, and then colon, anything inside this will be part of the list, correct? Okay. How would we be able to find the maximum of the numbers in a list? Right? Anyone have any clue? Anyone know how to do this? Take a guess, anything? Like just the logic, not even the code. Okay, I can show you guys then. So the logic we're gonna have here is we're going to go through all of the numbers in this list, right, one by one. So we'll make a variable called maximum number. Now, one by one, we'll go through the list. We'll see if it's greater than maximum number. Then we'll change the value of maximum number and equate it to that. Then we'll go to the next value. We'll check if that is greater than maximum number. If it is, then we'll change the value of maximum number. Again, and if it's not greater than it, then we'll just continue, right? We'll ignore it. Okay.
It's a loop, right?
A
Basically.
loop, exactly. A for loop. Okay, so first we're gonna need the variable maximum number, which for now, let's just give it the value of 0. Okay. Now, we'll start by making a loop for I in numbers. Okay, we're gonna loop one by one, right? First, I is gonna be the first value, then second value, third value, so on, right? We're gonna have to use the if statement to check if I is greater than maximum underscore number. Okay, if it is greater than maximum number, then what we wanted to do is we want maximum number to be equal to I. How does this make sense? Let me show you. First, let's write this code, and then I'll run through each part. Okay. Else we can make we can continue. Do you guys remember what continue does? The continue statement. No? Okay, so continue is basically it'll skip this iteration of the loop. Meaning if I is less than maximum number, then it won't do anything to I. It'll just skip. And it'll go back to this part of the loop, and it'll go to the next I value. Okay, let me give you an example of how this works. Maximum finder, and we'll put like, right, and after this loop, let's just print maximum number. Okay. Yeah, it should be it for this code. Okay, so first, maximum number will be equal to 0. Then it will go in this loop, and now one by one through this loop, I will first equal to 2, right? And if 2 is greater than maximum number, which is true, maximum number is 0. So 2 is greater than 0, the maximum number will be equal to 2. Does that make sense? Next, I will be equal to 6, right? And once this is over, it'll come back to the for loop. Next, I will be equal to 6. 6 is 6 greater than 2? It is. So maximum number will be equal to 6, the I value, 6, right? Next, 3. When it'll come back to the for loop, I will then be equal to 3, right? And then I will be checking if I is greater than 6, because that is the current maximum value, right? So 3 is greater than 6, that's not true. So this if statement will be ignored. It'll go to else, continue. Continue just means don't do anything. Skip this 3. go to the next value, which is 6 again, right? And it'll keep going, and eventually maximum number will be equal to 12, and it'll give you the output. Let me actually add like a value here. Okay, perfect.
I did the same thing, but except it said invalid syntax.
Okay, we can check your code for any syntax error.
Okay.
That's a syntax, perfect.
Run module. It's saying invalid syntax.
Invalid syntax. So do you see where you're seeing the invalid syntax?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know what you have to add?
No colon. No colon.
Exactly, no colon. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have the problem of your for, if, and else. Okay, let me share my screen really quickly. I'll show
Okay.
you one more problem you'll have to fix. Okay, so over here, what you did is your code was like, was like this. Now what's gonna happen here is Python will see for I in numbers, it'll see whatever is past this point.
So there's no indentation.
There's no indentation, exactly. If you keep this if statement on the same line as the for statement, then the Python will assume that it's not part of the for loop. And we actually want this to be part of the for loop. So anything inside has to be of an indent. Just like anything in this function is indented, if you see over here. Correct?
Yeah.
This is all indented, and this is touching the wall, which means it's not part of the function. Okay? So try that out. And tell me if it's working.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So anyone have any questions with this? Yeah, any questions with this question or the previous question? Or is everything good? I think you're good, right? Okay, cool.
Invalid syntax.
You still got invalid syntax. Okay, can you share your screen again?
There's a thing after for I in numbers. It's saying that there's a big dash.
There might be no colon, so you have to add a colon.
Yeah, can you share your screen again, Joshua?
Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll try it with the colons.
Okay, great. All right, cool.
Okay, it's still saying invalid syntax.
Again, the same problem over here. You put the if to the right side, and under the if, Python will assume that maximum number is equal to I is not part of the if statement because there's no indentation.
Okay, so what should I do?
So just click your tab button. Perfect. Now do the same thing with the else and continue.
Okay.
Okay, now try.
It's saying nothing's coming.
You have to print, sorry. You forgot the print statement. After your for loop, you have to use print. It still has to be in the function though. So not after you call the function.
Oh. So
Yeah,
print come up here.
exactly. Perfect.
So
Yeah, that's right. And then now you have to call your function again. Don't forget that.
okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move on to the next concept. I'll try and do it as quickly as possible because we don't have much time. And then I'll give you some more homework. Okay. So today we're gonna learn about the random module. So the random module, as we know, it'll pick a random number, right? So you can pick a random integer, you can pick a random increment, right? So I'll go through each command one by one using the module, the random module, okay? So let's start with the most basic one. Random.randint. Okay, so the way to use the random function, let me show you. So the way to use a random function in Python, you always have to start by importing it. So import random, right? Or else Python won't be able to import the module, right? It won't be able to access the random module. Okay, so you always have to start by importing random. Okay, next, we'll start with the first command, randint. Okay, so since we're importing a different module, different package, random, you always have to put random dot rand, whatever command you want to put. Okay, so random is the name of this package, the name of this module. So whenever you want to access random, you have to do random dot rand int, right? Or rand, whatever you want to put. Okay, I'll go through those one by one. So let me just start with the basic one. Number is equal to random dot rand int, okay, and you can put any two numbers, right? And let's just say 0, comma,
So
10.
will this choose a random number between 0 and 10 or between any two numbers?
Yeah, exactly. So the special thing about using a Python environment is it gives you whoops, it gives you prompts like this, right? Did you see that earlier? My bad. Yeah, like this. Return random integer in range A and B, including both endpoints. Including both endpoints means I could do 1, comma 10, and it'll include 1 and 10, right? Cool.
Uh,
And then print.
Yes.
Let's.
I just want, can you, in the last sum that you told us,
Mhm.
if I run it, I'm getting like error, inconsistent identification detected. Your indentation is outright incorrect. Easy to
Okay.
fix, or I
Yeah,
don't,
that should be easy. Can you share your screen in that case?
okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
What does import mean? Like in this function, what does import mean?
Okay, I'll explain that. Okay,
Um,
so
just a minute, I'll run it. See, can you see this error, inconsistent identification?
okay, so here's the thing. When you're running stuff like this, you're going to have to run it all in a different file, right? So if you click Command N, you'll get a new file, and you can run all of your code, right? Don't use the main thing that they give you, the main command prompt, right?
Okay.
So click Command N and copy all of this code that you use. Did it open a new file?
And yeah, got it.
Okay, make that new file, save it, and put all of this code in there, right?
Okay,
First of all, yeah.
I'll just.
Okay, yeah. How about you and Divya can stay after this class, and I can run you through all of your doubts. Okay?
It's still coming like that.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. I'll go through all of your doubts after the class. You missed a couple of things in the code. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll just stop sharing my screen.
Yeah. Don't worry. I got it.
For me, it's coming. There's a error in if. So then
And if okay, do you want to share your screen then?
I tried to copy your thing. I copied it, but there's an error. It's saying, okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah. Sure.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can. Okay.
So then in if there's
Okay, yeah. So a similar problem to Sasha is you forgot to indent, right? So after your for loop is touching a certain vertical line. Now your if statement is also touching that line. So you actually have to put that if statement, go to the beginning of the if statement and click tab. Yeah.
Here.
Right? Yeah, right there, exactly. So the thing is Python will think, yeah, and do the same thing with the line under the if statement.
This one?
Right? Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and your print statement actually has to be outside of your for loop. So everything inside of your for loop is going to be indented, right? But you want your print statement to be outside of the for loop.
So where should I put?
So you can remove the indent. So click backspace behind your print statement. Perfect.
Here, like this?
Yeah, like that. Perfect. Try it. Did it work?
I'm not sure.
What did it print?
What?
Wait, did it print any number?
No, it says name error. Name numbers is not defined.
Okay.
Okay, so you
Oh,
don't.
I said numbers. Oops.
Where do you, oh, numbers. Okay. Yeah, you can fix that. And also,
And should we write maximum numbers is equal to 1 or I?
is equal to I. Maximum number
We
is
have
equal to,
written 1.
oh, you put, oh, no, yeah. It has to be if I is greater than maximum
It
number.
says 1. I got 1.
Okay, yeah, so here's a problem with your code. If you look at your if statement,
Yeah.
okay, you see you put if 1 is greater than maximum number, it actually has to be I.
Oh.
Okay, so,
Problem?
and maximum number is equal to I.
Maximum number is. I did
Equal
that.
to, you put equal
Oh,
to
equal
1.
to this I.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, try and run it, see if you get an output.
Yeah, I got 12.
Yeah, cool. Perfect. Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
yeah, what's your question, Sasha?
There's a problem when I try it.
Okay, do you want to share your screen?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So it's saying in print there's a problem.
Okay, so what happened here is your maximum finder, you're calling the function, right? Maximum finder is 65967, right? So that at the end, your last line, it's actually being indented when in reality, you do not want it to be part of the function. You're calling it after your function. So your maximum finder, so the line below your print statement, has to be touching the wall.
Okay.
Okay, your print statement is part of the function, so it should be click tab. Exactly. Not twice, just once, because you want it to be part of your function and not your for loop.
Okay.
Okay, does this indentation make sense?
It's saying that it doesn't work still.
Did you get an error or?
Like after I did it, it's not printing anything. It's saying
not printing
that local error, local variable, maximum number reference before assignment, something like that.
Okay, so you put maximum numbers is equal to 0, and then you put if I is greater than maximum number.
Yeah.
So it's actually maximum number is equal to 0.
Oh,
So
here?
no, up top, you put maximum numbers is equal to 0. So the variable name has to be the same, right?
Yeah.
So it's maximum number, no
Oh.
S. Yeah,
No, but I put O.
yeah, exactly. You missed out the S over there. So yeah, you can just make all the variable names the same.
Okay, so
Maximum number is equal to 0.
is equal to
And oh yeah, and percent in the parentheses of maximum finder, you have to add the S numbers. At the, you know where you defined your function, maximum finder?
Yeah.
And then you put a multiplication symbol, asterisk numbers at the top.
My bad. Is it this?
Oh wait, no, go back.
Your first line.
Yeah, exactly, your first line.
So what am I meant to do?
So you put number, but it has to be numbers, right? Because later you called numbers for I and numbers.
Okay.
So these variable names have to be the same, or else you're gonna run into some problems.
Like one day, can you just take a class about indentation and like syntax? Because like, I mean,
Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are struggling with that. That's what I was just.
It's saying function maximum underscore finder at 0x1048E68C0.
Okay, did you get an error or?
No, it's written in blue.
Okay, can you share that part of your screen so I can take a look?
Okay, give me 1 minute, please.
Yep, no worries.
So yeah,
I can't see your actual the place where it ran.
yeah, I'm doing it now.
Okay. Okay, I can see it.
Function maximum finder at.
Oh, sorry. When you did print, you did print maximum finder. you actually have to print maximum number, right? Because you're printing your output.
Okay. Okay,
Perfect.
now
It works, right? So does
Yeah.
everyone actually understand this question? No one's like confused about it, right? If you're confused, you can ask me and I can teach you again. But everyone's good with it, right?
yeah, but like for the thing that you were teaching, what does import mean?
Import. Okay, yeah, let me go to that really quickly. Okay, so import. So again, when Python tries to reach out to a module that's not already inside of it, right? So random is not already part of Python. You have to import it. Okay, so just, I guess you can just think about it as something to remember, right? So whenever you're using random, import it, right? Mm-hmm.
Like, are you making random a variable?
No, so random is the name that it's of the module itself. So it's not a variable that I named. It's the name of the module, right? So it's how you're supposed to do it. It's like a thing in Python, if you want to think about it like that. So if you actually don't do that, okay. First, let me just write this code. Range. Okay. So over here, all I did was just make a for loop to go through one by one to show you that it's randomized, right? So all you have to know is that random.randint will give you a random number, right? So all I did here was the first one gave 8. The second for loop will give me 1. The third time I ran it, it gave me 10. The fourth time it gave me 8, right? So it's randomized. So when you use random.randint 1 comma 10 or whatever range you want to keep, the first value and the last value, it'll keep on giving you random numbers. Okay? Is this clear? What random.randint can do?
But like, I don't really understand why you need import.
Import, okay, so what's gonna happen if you don't put import is it'll give you an error, right? So random, it will not be, it says random is not defined, right? So again, the thing with the random module is that it's not already inside of Python. It's
Okay.
reaching out to an external source. Uh-huh.
So you can make modules.
So we're not making the modules, obviously, but someone else made it and they named it random. So whenever you want to use their module, you have to import it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you can just remember it as something that you put at the top of your code, right? Usually when you're writing a Python code, you'll be importing a lot of modules, right? Because you need capabilities that are not already inside of your environment. So usually you'd be importing NumPy, you'd be importing pandas, right? Importing matplotlib, right? So these are all things to go through one by one, right? So each module has its own ability, and this one random is capable of randomizing values, right? Giving you a random number. Okay, cool. So this is the first one, random.randint. You guys are feel free to like try it on your own systems and tell me if you're
I tried it, but I didn't get it.
okay. Can you share your
Me
screen?
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. It says invalid syntax.
Okay, so you forgot your colon again. Simple mistake. Whenever you make a for loop, you always have to put the colon. Okay, right? Did it work?
Yeah, but I didn't understand. It just like, just shuffled up the numbers on the right side.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So let me explain that for you really quickly.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So what happened here was random.random. You know what? I think this might be confusing you guys a little bit. So for now, let me just do that. Okay. So number is equal to random, again, because the module name is random. Whenever you want to run a command inside this module, you do random dot rand int. Okay? And then rand int is basically a short form for random integer. Okay? If that makes it more clear. Random integer. So how this is going to work is it's going to take a range of values. So what I passed in was 1 and 10. And what it's doing is number, now inside this variable number, there's going to be a random integer between 1 and 10. Okay, so if I were to print number, okay, it'll give me
Can I
a
also show
random
you
value.
mine? Can I also show you mine? I got the same thing, but I don't understand this.
You got this thing or like just printing one thing? Okay, Keanu, show me your screen.
So you have to like show the range of the number and then just put a random number between the range.
Can you see this?
So, uh-huh.
Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah, so you have trouble understanding it?
Yeah, like what should I do like after this? Import random for like I got an invalid syntax.
You got an invalid syntax. Let me see. Really? Run it? You sure you got the syntax error?
Yeah.
Oh, you put rand int. It's a random integer, right? So it's rand int.
Oh.
RANDINT. Okay, so it's rand int. Okay, this is gonna be the standard one. It's gonna be the random
Is this
integer
correct
that
now?
you're gonna use most of the time. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, run it. Did it
Yeah,
work?
I
Okay.
got it. Can you see it?
No, I can't see it.
I got it like till 10, 1 to 10, and then 9, 1, 5, 6, 3, 3, 2,
Perfect.
8, 4, 9.
Right, so that's just to show you that it's totally random values, right? So again, what I was just showing you over here is number is equal to random.randint, which will basically inside the module random, it'll give you a random integer between 1 and 10, and I'm just printing it, right? So every time I run it, because it's randomized, I'll get a different value. 2, 4, 5, okay? So on and so forth. Right? So this is going to be the main thing to do with random, right? The random module. So there's so many other ones. Here, let me just show you. Okay, the rest of them over here. Okay, we can go over one more, and then we can go over the rest for homework, right? And we can go over the rest next class. Okay.
I didn't really like get it in random. Like it's saying that invalid syntax error.
Do you wanna? Okay, let me go over this last topic, and then you can share your screen. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we already learned about random.randint. Next, we'll do random.randrange, right? So what does random.randrange do? It will take in 3 parameters. Can anyone tell me what these 3 values are? A, B, C. Take a guess. Anyone want to take a guess? Like earlier for randint, we're passing in the starting point and the end point. For rand
It could be
range,
B.
We will keep like the middle one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what they do is just like
If it's
randint.
ABC, then they like type B.
No, actually. I mean, so you're right, it does take in A, B, C. So just like the other one, A and B are the range. Okay? Sorry. Okay. Just like the other one, A and B are the range. So again, 1, 10, and value.
There are like lines on your
Yeah,
screen.
someone's drawing them. Okay, don't worry. Yeah, let's get rid of him. Okay. Okay. So random.rand range will take in a range of values 1 comma 10. So it'll take in a range of values between 1 and 10, and it'll take in a third value. Okay, what does this third value do? It will take in increments, right? So 2, if I pass in 2 over here. Now what's going to happen is it between the range of 1 and 10, it'll take increments of 2 and it'll randomize those. Let me explain to you what that means exactly. Okay, so I'm starting with 1, then it's going to 3, then it's going to 5, then 7, then 9, right? Now those are the possible values, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? That's because I use this increment of 2. Okay, let me run it a few more times. I'll show you. 7, right? So it's basically randomizing everything part of this increment, right? Increment of 2. So anything in the multiplication of 2, here, let me make this easier and make this 0. Okay, so the only possible values are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, right? That's because I did this 2, right? Now if I change this to 3, the only possible values are 0, 3, whatever, 6, 9, right? If you run it, it'll randomize between those 3 values, okay? Or 4 values, sorry. Okay, 0, 3, 6.
Second one, but I'm still not able to do this first one.
Wait, I can hear you, sorry.
I did the second one, the one that you're doing now, rand range, but I put it in the random.
Like you can understand it or it wasn't working?
It wasn't working and I didn't really understand it either.
Okay, so first let me explain it to you. Again.
Okay. So like I don't understand, why did you put random dot random?
Okay, yeah, so first of all, again, random is the module. Okay, so like I said, you're getting it from an external source. So that's why we're importing it. Right, so when we import something, we import it with the name. So over here, we imported random. Okay, so random, whenever you want to access this module, you do random dot. Okay, because now Python knows you're accessing something part of the module that you imported, right? So if you do random dot, Python knows that you're taking a command out of this random module.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're kind of taking this module, going inside of it, and seeing what kind of commands are there, right? The first one we went over was rand int. Okay, so does rand int, like what its capability, doesn't make sense? Like what it can do?
Yeah.
Okay, basically get a random integer between 2 values, right? And rand range will basically take a third value, which is only multiples between this, right? So it'll take a random value of multiples between the start point and end point.
I have a question. Why can't you just use rand int and put 3 numbers instead of doing rand range?
So, I mean, it's not built like that, right? So rand int can only take in 2 values. Rand int cannot take the third value.
And can rand range take more than 3?
No, it can't. So like a fourth parameter you're asking?
Yeah.
No, it only takes in 3 because each one has its own designated like use, right? So the first one is the start point, the second one is the end point, and the third one is the increment, right? Or the multiple. So also to answer your question, you can kind of do this as well, which will basically kind of act as rand int, right? Because it's multiples of 1. Right? So multiples of 1 basically means it'll take a random value between 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right?
Yeah.
All the way up to 10. So this is kind of like rand int. It'll do the same thing as rand int 0, 10. Right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Excuse me,
Okay. Thank you.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Those lines, what were coming on the screen, that was because my computer, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem, no problem. That's fine.
I might try to this rand range, but it's saying 1 minute. I'll just try it again.
Okay. You want to share
It's
your
saying
screen?
unexpected indent.
Okay, can I see your screen? So this print statement, because it's not inside any other statement, you have to make it touch the wall, right? So you see that big space between the wall and the print? Exactly. You have to get rid of that.
Okay.
Try it now. So yeah, I think next class I'll go over indentation because I'm guessing
It's
a lot
saying
of you guys.
check back most recent calls.
Yeah, so your variable name numbers and number, right? So they're not the same.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah. So just change that really quickly. Now try.
yeah.
Right, perfect. Cool. Yeah, so next class, once we're done with the random module, we can go over indentation and variable case sensitivity and all that one more time, right? Because I'm guessing a lot of you guys have some confusion with it. Okay, yeah, that's all the time that we're gonna have for today. If you have any questions, Ditya, you can stay back after class. Anyone else who wants to can stay back and for
I
like,
have like a slight question. It's not related to Python, but it's related to your YouTube channel. So I missed a few classes before. So I went on YouTube to see the classes, and then what it says, it's the I went on the playlist Python with Sampreeth. There are like 10 of the same videos, same class, not like 10, but or more than 10 of the same videos of class 10.
of class 10. Okay, let me take a look at it really quickly.
Like regarding like you guys are doing, I guess, a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Can
do
we?
we have to like do something for Python also?
Don't worry, I'll ask. I was actually planning on asking a couple of you guys. So yeah, don't worry, I'll personally talk to some of you guys and then I'll ask you for something. So, okay, fine. So first, let's end this class.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, see you everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.